And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
You don't believe his portrayal of that person who existed?
No, I think he took the person, the core of the person, and then exaggerated the hell out of it to make a interesting movie.
And how well do you know the guy that he was?
Actually, we're members of the same country club, and we often do a few rounds together on the golf course. And, yeah, so I can say from first-hand experience, it's bullshit.
Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle, Season 10, Episode 8, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me I have a man who says he bets that all those girls that ignored him in school are still pretty pleased with their decision. It's Mike McDonough.
Fuck you, Wrigley.
Also beside me is a lady who says, according to tampon commercials, all women are full of blue windscreen washer fluid. It's Shona, I love Canada. Oh, Flaherty. Alright, Shona. Live from Vegas, we have a man who says, never be ashamed of who you are. That's your family's job. It's John Leonard. And in the red corner, it's our cuddly killer, a man who says that all great musicians die young. So, yeah, Kanye will be around for a while. It's Mark, superhero, Leonard. This week we'll be discussing some movies in the shape of Zoolander 2 and some TV in the form of Love and Vinyl. Of course, we'll have the usuals with the news and some previews in coming to a bicycle near you.
So my relationship with George has taken an unexpected and somewhat dark turn.
The TV saga of it. Yeah. Okay, tell us.
Hold on, let me go get some popcorn.
Yep.
Avid listeners may remember that George promised me faithfully that if I gave him my bank account details, which I, hesitated to provide.
Yes, in case he was scamming you.
In case he was scamming me, that I would have the money by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Now that was over a week ago now.
Ah.
And no money appeared.
Is he avoiding you?
I was talking to a friend of mine who happens to be in the legal profession. And in the view of the legal profession, there is a thing called nuisance damages.
Oh.
So, I'm now suing George.
Are you?
No way.
Are you serious?
For approximately 10 times the value of the TV.
No way.
Did you get to say see you in court?
Wow. This got really interesting.
Oh.
So as luck would have it, well, not luck, but timing-wise for this podcast, it was lucky. He rang me today.
Uh-huh.
Didn't try any jokes this time.
Mm-hmm.
So he just goes, so he would have got the letter now on last week.
Oh, an actual solicitor's letter?
Oh, yeah, no, it's for realsies.
Oh, wow.
I'm not just saying I might do this someday.
Well, there's no point in
text
kind of
me.
making false...
Yeah, no, this has happened.
you gotta follow
This has
through.
happened.
Did
So
you
just for people who think that I've gone completely over the top here, the TV broke on New Year's Eve. That's a while ago.
Yeah.
And there has never been more than a half-hour delay in anything they've asked me for.
Uh-huh.
But there's nearly 3 months of a delay in getting the money back for a TV they broke. Anyway, so they got the letter, and the letter's soon for damages, whatever. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, I think. But the fact that he rang me today didn't make any mention of the solicitor's action, but was not surprised when I mentioned it, means that it was obviously a last-ditch effort just to get me to go away.
Right.
So he rings me. He goes, "Hi, Mark, this is George." Again, names taken to protect the guilty. And he goes, "Did you get the money for that TV yet?" And I went, "Well, obviously not." Because I just presumed he knew that there was a letter there, which he does, of course, because his name is on it.
Of course he does, yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, "Well, I can have that to you today if you want it." And I said, I think we're past that, George. Did you not get a solicitor's letter from me last week?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, no, I never did. And I said, "That's strange." And he goes, "Well, do you want me to just search out for that money now? Like, I have it here. It's whatever it is." And he had it down to the cent value of what he was supposed to pay me ages ago.
Yeah.
And I went, there's probably no point now, sure. I should probably best just to go through my solicitor.
Yeah.
And contact details would be in the letter that she got.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, they must have got it in Dublin. I'm down in Galway." I'm sure that must be it.
Yeah.
We should look good talking to you anyway. Yeah. He said, "Right, see you, Mark. Bye."
So Mark,
like,
what we all want to know is, did you hire the grinder to represent you?
Oh man, I so want to hire. I'm watching that all the time now. Every chance I get a half hour here or there, I just throw on the grinder. He just makes me feel good. But yeah, so that was my story.
Wow.
Yeah,
The
so
drama
the second thing is
continues.
I'll keep
the
you
plot
posted.
thickens.
Indeed. Fantastic. So do you see anything this week?
I went back and started watching Ballers. I'll just
Okay.
talk about this, Mike, and I'll shut up. I'll let you guys talk
Go
on
on,
the podcast for a change, right? I've gone back to start watching Ballers. I struggled to watch it because it's not mutually acceptable TV, it turns out. But I'm quite capable of watching it by myself. Another revelation. So it's really good. Really, really good. The Rock is excellent. He's not rockish at all.
Yeah.
And the supporting cast are really strong. And the antagonist, if anyone knows the name of the guy that I'm talking about, Reggie is the character's name. Don't know the actor's name, but anyway, he's brilliant. He is so easy to hate. It's really, really good.
Huh. So what episode are you up to?
5.
5. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Making headway.
And when I said I was going to stop talking, I lied. I have one more tiny little story about epic comic timing. Right, I'll just get this out, and I promise not to say anything for the rest of the podcast until it's my turn to talk again.
Yeah.
So as you're all aware, I'll be treading the boards again next week for Jesus Christ Superstar, and I'm playing Annas, one of the high priests, which means I'm off stage most of the time doing very little. But many of the people who have other parts, including the chorus, are doing a lot more than me, right? But there's as everyone knows, the story of Jesus Christ, how he's denied 3 times by Peter. Right? And obviously that's carried out through song in Jesus Christ Superstar. And the third denial is Peter going, I don't know him. And then there's a dramatic pause. And from the side, every night I go, dick. Whatever happened last night, we're in full rehearsal. Now, usually I actually sit beside Peter because he and I sing the high harmony, basically. So it makes sense to sit together to practice. But obviously now I'm off stage being sad and he's on stage being awesome.
Yeah.
And so then he does, I don't know him. And then everyone goes quiet. And then everybody heard me go, dick. The bunch of girls who are young girls who are about to go on as lepers and various other things like suffering little children to come to me, where Jesus sets into motion the chain of events leading to priests touching children, I presume. All kind of turn around to me and look at me going, what? And I went, like, come on. Jesus is supposed to be like his bestie. He just said he didn't know him 3 fucking times. I thought he got off lightly. That's it. I'm out. Over to you guys.
We're taking the talking stick away from you, Mark. You have to your turn.
It's time, Shona.
So what else have you been watching?
I saw The Martian because it's finally on Skybox that I could rent because my theater forays are few and far between. And I really liked it. It was good. I don't know if it would be like all the Oscar buzz, but it was really enjoyable.
Wow. Isn't it great how you can pay €40 a month for Sky Movies and get the latest movie 6 months later?
No. I don't have the movie channel yet. It came out on Sky Rent or whatever, so it was for $5. I get it for a week, and I'm like, that's cheaper than going to the cinema, and I can go tend to my crying baby who never sleeps. Win.
I actually went to the cinema for a $5 yesterday.
Did you?
To see The Revenant.
Oh yeah.
My last chance to see it before the Oscars this upcoming weekend. It's a pretty movie. It's very pretty. It deserves all the attention it's getting in terms of cinematography.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's good. Like, it's good. Like, it's a good movie. I don't think it's a great movie. I don't think it's an Oscar-winning movie. In terms of the performance, I mean, I think Leo's done better. I guess I'm still pulling for him in the Oscars because if he doesn't win one, he'll probably die.
But he hasn't suffered like he's suffered in this.
Yeah, that seems to be
That's
the
the
whole
thing.
campaign, isn't it?
It's about suffering. Yeah.
Well, I've actually read a lot of reviews damning The Revenant for being pure torture porn. But I watched it and I disagree. Like, I think it's a movie with a story. And people are like, no, it's not about anything. It's just a guy who gets beat to shit constantly by everything, including, like, the world. And I was like, well, no, I mean, no. Like, very, very much there are things that happen and characters that go through things. But I really was expecting more. I mean, I probably sound disappointed, and that's probably because I emote my true feelings really well. It's just that Birdman was my favorite movie last year.
Yeah.
And that was just so much fun, and it was unexpected, and it moved like so much was happening all the time. And in this, there just wasn't the same amount of flair. I mean, there was the same technical mastery of things like the bear fight, the horseback shooting sequence that I'm sure Mike has derided for how impractical it was. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was good. I just didn't think it was great. And I kind of left the theater not being disappointed because I was glad I'd watched it, but being very glad that I'd snuck in 6 beers.
Yeah, it was a long time. Yeah.
But I'm just wondering, Sean, like, you're criticizing the movie, but I would put it to you that Birdman did not have a bear fight.
Interesting. Okay. Sure. I take your comment and I ignore it.
Discard it and move on. Okay. So you don't think it's going to win the Oscar?
I think Leo will probably win the Oscar.
Yeah.
Definitely win the Oscar.
Iñárritu might get the director Oscar. It seems like that's likely just because of the scope of what he was trying to do and nearly killing all of his actors. But Best Picture, I don't know. I really don't know now. Like, I think I've seen all of the nominees, but I don't know who I put my money on.
Yeah.
I hope that. Look, if Leo doesn't win the Oscar, which would be hilarious, I think that Fassbender is who I think should get it.
What, you thought Fassbender was better than Bryan Cranston?
Of course, yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Wow.
That's really disturbing.
I'd say a sneaky outsider bet on the Trumbo might be worth the flutter.
Yeah, I think if Leo doesn't get it, Bryan Cranston is in with a shout.
Could be up there.
What's the odds now?
I don't know, actually. I must look them up. But, another reason for it would be the subject matter, especially Trumbo.
Yeah. Right
up the Oscar street.
Oh, yeah.
Oscar bait all the way.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
They love all that Hollywood stuff in Hollywood.
So we got an email in, actually. And for anyone interested in sending their comments into us, it's podcast@isitabicycle.com. So the email says, saw this and thought it would be a great chat-up line for Mike.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Yeah.
I wasn't in the IRA, but I wouldn't mind being in you. Republican in the sheets. Fuck, I fucked it up. Republican in the streets, terrorist in the sheets.
Funny.
No, that's from Jerry, who's 67. But if you don't mind taking advice from someone who's so far your junior, Mike, I think it would it'd be perfect for you.
Advice from the young lads.
Well, thank you, Jerry, for your for your advice. I appreciate
When you started off with that, Mark, I thought when you said, "Are you ready?" that was the pickup line.
What do you call it? I've been inundated with TV.
Have you?
There's a lot of good shows out.
Do you do any work anymore, Steve?
I do.
I thought I was the one getting laid off.
No, I do a lot of work, but I like my downtime.
Yeah.
You know, and like I say, I just can't cope with the amount of good TV at the moment because there's so many shows that I want to keep up with. Like I have my core TV, which was Elementary,
Flash, Arrow,
Fast and Loud,
DC Legends of Tomorrow,
and what else was there? X-Files,
Marvel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm trying to keep up with X-Files at the moment as well. And what else is there? Jeez, there's loads.
Marvel's Jessica Jones.
That I've earmarked that. I have to come back to that, and I have to come back to Daredevil because I'd like to give them another few. Yeah,
it'll help you with your confusion over who Murdoch and Sean
B.A.
His
Nelson.
sidekick.
Oh.
Nelson are.
All right.
I think
so
you'll like them, Steve.
yeah, yeah. There's just not enough hours in the day these days.
Do you know you're coming across like the only straight guy at the ballet school?
Explain that one.
I've got a
there's
challenge
just too much
for
choice.
everybody. Yeah. This is going to be our first Is It a Bicycle challenge that's going to be witnessed by all of our listeners. And it was promised at the end of Deadpool that Cable will be in Deadpool 2. Now everybody knows, and I don't need to tell you guys, that Cable is an older gentleman, which means he's likely to be played by an established actor. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun if we all made a little bet on who's going to be Cable in Deadpool 2, and then see which of us is right?
Yeah, I'll have to find out who Cable is first.
Yeah,
You know, it's
I've-
okay. Your
I've
answer
seen
can be in
Deadpool.
2 weeks' time. I'll take this up with you in episode 10.
We have homework.
Yeah,
Is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
A bit of a flutter on it then. Yeah, okay. Go.
So research who Cable is, and then we'll all get on Paddy Power, and they'll go, what? You want to bet on what?
Yeah.
And we'll be like, man, this is the new big thing. You better get your bookies ready because there's going to be some hot action. Who plays Cable? Once all of our listeners hear about this, they'll be right there behind us.
I'm just going to take a wild guess, and I'm going to say Michael Caine gets this. It's going to happen.
I don't see it. I think we'll just save it. We'll save it.
Right.
We'll save it for 2 weeks' time. I'll be back. I'll ask you guys the question.
Cool. Okay. Let's go to the news. So, the Oscars are in trouble again.
Again.
Apparently, they're being very discriminatory.
Discriminatory.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
man.
stunt community feel they're being underappreciated this time.
Oh,
There's no Oscar for stuntists or stuntist coordinators.
yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I really appreciate the stuntarianism that they do, you know.
Exactly. And they're quite a diverse bunch of people, apparently. Yeah. So, as a result, they plan on protesting at the Oscars. As one stunt commentator said, they just aren't feeling the love. So love, is it? Maybe what they need is a Cupid stunt. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Okay.
Jesus, Steve.
Cupids.
So, also in the news, it's a way Homer, think about it.
All right.
Also in the news is the revelation that the UFC will not be headlining 196 with Conor McGregor and Dos Anjos, because Dos Anjos broke his bloody foot.
Yeah.
So he's out. So rumours are rife as to who shall replace him, if there is a replacement.
Cerrone, surely. Is he able to fight?
Yes, well, he just had a bout last Sunday and he did very well and he's okay. Yeah, so
He's hardly going to fight 2 weeks later.
he's always saying, I'm ready every day. You know? But
Well, would you do it for like $500,000? Like,
I'd say he'd get a bit more than that, considering
like
the
just
numbers.
saying, right? That's the
Oh
low
yeah,
end,
for
right?
sure. Yeah. A
do
concussion,
it.
I could deal with a concussion for $500,000. Yeah.
I could deal with a broken nose.
Yep.
But the worst case scenario is I could deal with being beat up by Conor McGregor for 5 rounds.
Well,
For-
that's not the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is that Connor trash talks you for the rest of your fucking life.
I think that'd be likely if you were fighting him anyway. But realistically, though, with Conor, me fighting Conor, it's going to be like less than he fought Aldo for. So I wouldn't even need to train. I just turn up like the belly hanging over the shorts. And going, I don't think you're funny. Bang.
Yeah.
Fight over.
Yeah. And you could get somebody to hammer your ribs.
Oh God. Right.
Sorry.
Realistically, I would say that it'll be pushed out to UFC 200.
Oh, that's no fun.
That's the big payday, though. You know,
But is he not going to fight, though?
this is what I'm saying. I think they might do like what they did with or else do an interim belt. You know, that's
Interim with Cerrone.
with Cerrone or something like that. Yeah. Sean, are you going to say something?
I was indeed. Strange little story came across my desk this week. Like I have a desk.
Yeah.
So one dude, and you can find a full report on this at Cinema Blend, but one guy is trying to make Wayne's World 3 happen. And when I say guy, I'm not trying to be like, you know, offensive or trying to demean him. He's some random asshole. So his name is Trevor Schindler, and he's been trying to make Wayne's World 3 with his script. He's been trying to get people to read it, like Mike Myers, etc., for 23 years.
Oh God.
Oh wow.
So it's called. You can go to his website where he has a synopsis and some other stuff. Wayne's Leisure World, the final sequel? ? So basically, he wants to raise $2,500 to launch an outdoor advertising campaign. Basically, I think he wants to buy billboards and go, Mike Myers, please read my script.
Wow. I see. Yeah.
The reason that it came across my desk is because I got a new Twitter follower during the week. Well, I got a few new Twitter followers, but I don't want to boast.
I know. Yeah. A
It
few
was
100,000.
10, but it's fine. And one of them, I was like, geez, I'm only tweeting about the grinder. How did this guy end up following me? And it's at Wayne's World 3.
Nice.
So it could be that guy. I'm going to have to send him a DM now,
Yeah.
which means I'm going to have to follow his page, which is unfortunate. But I'll report back to you on this story. I'm going to try and get the script. I'm going to try and read it, and then I'm going to review it on this very podcast.
Well, the guy has a point. Like, from Wayne's World, the takeaway always was, if you book them, they will come.
Shit, that's actually true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any other news items? No, nothing. No.
We're all just waiting for the Oscars.
I see. Okay.
All
Actually,
news is on hold.
Speaking of crowdfunding, did you hear about the person who started the Facebook charity thing for Kanye West?
No. Is this because he's 50-something
he's
million
53 million in debt, so somebody started to give $1 to Kanye's site. He got like $200 or $300.
Did he not have something about gold digging bitches back in?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Didn't he? Did he have something? And was he not tweeting?
Yeah, he was trying to get Mark Zuckerberg to give him $1 billion.
Is he like a gold digging bitch? No, is it,
or
is it just irony lost on me? Or
yeah.
Anyway, okay, all right. I don't know. We'll have to look
so
at more. I
I
don't really pay much attention to it. So
I myself, I'm going to give $1 to Kanye.
Are you?
Yep.
He thinks Bill Cosby's innocent, so
Oh yeah.
feel free to support that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. First of our movies is Zoolander 2. Sean, do you want to tell us about Zoolander 2?
Following on from the events of Zoolander 1 and the terrible tragedy that befell the Derek Zoolander School for Kids Who Can't Read Good and Want to Learn to Do Other Stuff Good Too, which was Zoolander's school, which in a horrific accident killed his wife from the previous film, played by Ben Stiller's real-life wife. And then his kid was taken away from him, Derek Jr., because he's a terrible, terrible father. So Derek Zoolander goes into hiding, and the movie follows the events of him coming back into the world of modeling. But the world of modeling has changed, and also so has the actual world. And will Derek Zoolander be able to cope? Will Hansel be able to find true love? I don't know.
So what do we think?
This is a way Homer.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you feel better about it now than you did watching it?
Yeah, when I watched it, I was kind of sitting there with my arms folded thinking, this isn't as good as the first one.
Mm.
Did you at any stage go, I'm getting too old for this shit?
2 weeks left.
Yeah.
But, sitting there watching it, I was kind of, but there was
Why
no
were you
like
masturbating in the theater?
but there was no real belly laughs like I remember on the first one.
Right.
Especially the tragic gasoline fight accident.
Yeah.
But I thinking about it later,
Yeah.
there were quite a lot of really, really funny bits in it.
And there was a lot of them.
Mm.
Like it was quantity. The quality, like you say, has dropped a little bit, but it definitely had some moments.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was funny. I was watching it. I was enjoying it, and then I was sort of going, "All right, okay, yeah." And they got to a certain point where I thought, "Okay, there's the last act coming now," you know. Yeah. So I sort of looked at my watch and went, "Oh shit, we're only an hour into it." Yeah. It's just like crap. There's another like 40 minutes left or 35 minutes left. I thought they were just wrapping it up, and it was just like and then it started to get a bit too long. You know, because I thought it was brilliant. If it had been an hour, it would have been very good. Yeah. John.
So the humor in this is a mix of dumb jokes and really smart dumb jokes.
Yeah.
Because you've got like the classic Zoolander thing of like, oh, he doesn't know how to pronounce words sometimes.
Yeah.
Like Mike was describing, like there's a lot of like, and Stevie as well. There's a large quantity of small titters. It's like, ooh, haha, that's fun. But when it gets really good is when it's lampooning specific aspects of just the ideas of beauty in popular culture currently and the modeling industry. Like at one point, Derek Zoolander's kid is fat. So he starts to freak out. He's like, I can't do this. And Hansel comes over, and one of my favorite jokes in the movie is he starts to go, no, just because he's fat doesn't mean he's a bad person. I mean, it doesn't mean he's a good person. I just really like. I'm just a big fan of when they do that, when they get a little mean. Like at one point, someone confuses like blue steel for a different one of, or confuses one of Derek's looks for blue steel, and they just completely go after them. And they're like, "Oh, okay. I didn't realize you weren't allowed to go to school to work at this job. Maybe you should have like a brain cell. Earth to Matilda." I just really liked when they got mean with each other. And I have to give big props. I think the standout performance in this is Kyle Mooney. Kyle Mooney played the fashion designer, hipster guy who doesn't care about anything. Who, like, whenever things are terrible, he's like, "Yeah, dude, so, it's like you guys are really old and dumb. I love it. It's great. I hate you guys. You're so lame. You're best friends." I just really like, because I can see that, the whole thing in social media of like, you can't care about things too much. If you care about them too much, you're not cool anymore. Yeah. Oh, old dumb shit is like the best. That's like the best art that there is. I love it. It's just, Kyle Mooney was a standout. Every time he was on screen, I lost my shit. I wish he could have been in it more. And I think he would have been up for the challenge.
Mark, what did you think?
I'm going to retire, withdraw from public life, and become a hermit crab. I think the best jokes in the show were when Zoolander got words wrong.
Yes. There was another one. I was trying to think.
Old LeMay.
It was when the kid said something and he goes, "What do you say? I don't know what you're worried. I'm not a walking Tyrannosaurus."
That was the funniest. Like I
funny.
Saw this at the weekend. I did belly laugh quite a bit at it. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
Like somebody asked me, like obviously knowing my reputation as an esteemed movie critic, somebody asked me at work, "What did you think of Zoolander 2?" And I inhaled a deep breath and I went, "In 10 words or less." And I went, "No meaningful plot, funny." And she goes, "That's all I needed. Cheers." So I think it is really funny. It's like there was very little of a plot in the first one, so you can't really be surprised that it's just as ridiculous in this one.
Yeah,
like some of that, like Sean mentioned about the fat jokes, like some of that's really funny. Like, does being fat mean you're a bad person? I'm really asking you. And it's just, and like the interplay between Owen and Zoolander was really good too. Like they work really well together. Like Owen's deadpan to Zoolander's like overacting almost, but it's in character. It's really good.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it.
So my question is then, does Zoolander age well? Is the sequel living up, at least in some way, to the original?
Yeah, I think so. It's self-referential a lot. There's a lot of talk about how old they are and how like everything's moved on. But I think it stands the test of time for me anyway. I think it's as good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the right word to say, but it's kind of subtle in its dumbness. It's like this.
No, it wasn't, Mike. It wasn't.
There's one point where Zoolander, when he's in his hermit crab phase, and he's out in the wilderness, and there's snow blowing and trees all around, and he's in this little wood cabin, and then in the bottom of the screen it says Northern New Jersey. So that is fucking brilliant.
Oh, the supporting cast. We have to talk about that. We obviously Will Ferrell makes a return, and Penelope Cruz, but also those
Kiefer
members,
Sutherland,
the members of the orgy. Yeah.
There's a lot of cameos, isn't there? I know Justin Bieber's being used in the trailer.
There's so many. There's loads and loads and loads. And even when he like, is it Jeremy Irons? No,
Sting is in it.
Sting and John Malkovich.
Yeah.
And MC Hammer. And there's loads. Yeah. It's very, very good.
I thought Penelope Cruz, both her part and her acting of it were lackluster. Probably, to be honest, the jokes that they gave her were mostly just puns. I mean, her as a fashion police agent might have been useful for the plot. I mean, no, you're laughing, but I generally was just like,
Yeah.
And she has large breasts is most of the rest of her character. Which is, if she wasn't actually supposed to be a part of the movie, would have been a throwaway gag, sure. But the fact that she's supposedly, she is like the first or second female lead, and it's terrible. None of her jokes were funny, and I don't think her performance was funny either.
Best cameo has to go to Dominic Cumberbatch.
Oh my God, as
All is all.
To all.
He's getting married to himself.
Do you mean Benedict, right?
He means, I didn't know if that was a joke calling him Dominic.
Sorry. It actually wasn't a joke. I'm just dumb.
It's like an inside joke that I missed from
Benedict
another
Cumberbatch,
episode.
obviously.
Mark will be starring in Zoolander 3.
Yeah, he was brilliant and his jokes
I
were very
remember
funny.
though that he got a bit of flack, or the movie got a bit of flack, that they didn't have like a transgender person play that role, because that's the gag or something, isn't it?
Kind of, he's androgynous, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, which is the same people that complained about Christopher Reeve not getting Denzel's part in The Bone Collector.
Oh, really?
Presumably.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, yeah.
Jesus Christ, like.
Yeah.
I should just make shit up if you actually don't have a point to make. So,
did it pass the Bechdel test?
No.
I very much doubt it.
No,
it didn't.
Yeah.
There was only one
Might
female
actually,
character,
I
wasn't there?
talk about fashion or something. I
no, there's two. Sorry, yeah.
It was two,
Yeah, and they had a sexy fight. So, no, it didn't.
It would be interesting
like
if
a
they did more
resounding failure.
damage to the feminist agenda while passing the Bechdel test, because we'd be in real trouble then as to how to raise the feminist score.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to give this a second watch when it comes out on Blu-ray, because I'm sure I missed some jokes. Probably, there's so many. Like, but it won't be high on my priority list. For a rewatch, let's say. Yeah.
I think Sean's strategy of having 6 beers beforehand.
That could be
a great idea.
Actually, that could be. Yeah.
I have a tradition now. I go to the same theater now every week because they do $5 movie Mondays, and I gamble $1 while drinking 3 beers because they just keep giving you alcohol because no one else is there on a Monday at 6 p.m. And then you sneak some beers in. I've switched to nachos, Mike, by the way. I'm
Good
completely
man.
on your side.
Good man.
Popcorn, I'm sorry. I loved you once, but then I read an article about how old you are and how full of other people's skin you are.
Oh.
You just single-handedly ruined popcorn for everybody listening.
The worst part is I didn't even read an article. I just kind of was like, I think it's bad for me. I'm going to have nachos. They look So yeah, I enjoyed myself, but probably won't watch it again unless it just comes up.
Give it a mark then.
I'm going to give it I would recommend people watch this movie if they liked the first one a lot, or movies like this. I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay, Mark.
I think Sean is right on the money. 6.
Much though I hate to agree with my colleagues, I'm probably going to give this a 6 too.
I'm right with you. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a 6.
Streak is on.
Exactly.
Sean's in first.
God, it's been a long time since we've had a streak. Okay, first of our TV. Mark, tell us about Love.
Streak. Is that a thing?
It used to be. It used to be when we all used to agree.
Love is, I believe it's Netflix.
Yep.
It's about a whole bunch of people with varying degrees of difficulty with relationships. Some of them are in love. Some of them are just out of love. Some of them are in love but out of a relationship. And some of them are in a relationship but out of love. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. Anyway, that's basically the setup. It's about relationships.
That
and
almost
love.
sounded like Shakespearean. You know, Romeo and Juliet, when he's like, are you in love? Out of love, out of her favor, where I'm in love.
Yes, I know that
pretty
bit. It's one
much
of my
just did
favorite
the
parts.
modern bit of Romeo and Juliet, so way to go, Shakespeare. You're poetic is what I'm saying, Mark.
Thank you very much.
He's such a talent. Such a talent.
That's why we keep him around on the podcast, you know?
Yeah.
He makes
I'm
us
your-
sound.
I'm your-
He's the
John.
fancy-
Dancing monkey, basically.
What
Anyway,
do you
what
think
do we
of
all think?
Tell us.
So it's created by Gillian Jacobs, Paul Rust, and then a third person. But because the third person doesn't play the male or female lead, I don't remember their name. So basically, Gillian Jacobs, Paul Rust created this show for themselves to act in, which I think is a great strategy. because I only recognize Gillian Jacobs from 6 seasons of Community and then random popping up in other things. So this is the meatiest work that she's done in anything I've seen her in so far. Same with Paul Rust, who came out of nowhere. It's kind of following in the tradition of Master of None. It's showing these are things that happen in relationships. It's taking those moments and putting together a dramatic and comedic storyline with them. I would also compare it to one of my favorite sitcoms, You're the Worst, which I remember Shona didn't like because the people in it were the worst.
Did the studio like it? I'm trying to remember. Was it renewed?
Oh, yeah. I've seen 2 seasons of it now. It's really good. Cool. The previous season, we talked about at the Bikies.
Oh, indeed we did. Yes.
So this show, okay, so they have a Netflix season, and they very much are aware of that, and they use it in their storytelling. They even have hooks at the end of almost all of their episodes, which is tough to do usually because the plot is just there are people in the world. They want good relationships and they want good work. So we have one guy who is a tutor. He's an on-set teacher for a show called Wichita, about witches in Wichita, I guess. So they get to lampoon Hollywood, much like Zoolander 2 did. And then the other person works for a radio show, which is about a love doctor who you phone into. So the show's been set up pretty well. Like those things I've just mentioned are really useful in creating plots or conflicts or just examining love from various different parts. What is interesting about the show is that even though it's a comedy, it is affecting. So I'm watching this with my current lady friend. And I remember when Mark used to review certain stand-up comedy routines or romantic comedies, he would have to talk about a moment where he would have to turn to the person he was seeing it with and go, baby, them's just jokes. It was just jokes, baby. So there's a couple of conversations that I've had because of the show, which is interesting. And also, like, I do see myself in a lot of the behaviors that they show. Like, for example, wanting to not text someone too much, hating yourself because you're texting a person and like checking your phone all day. All that stuff is just so close to the bone. I'm like, stop it. Stop it. And there was even one point, the person I was watching it with after like 4 episodes just went, I hate that I'm a side character. She didn't see herself in any of the other things. I've talked about it a lot already, and I might even talk more. I think it's really interesting. Great music, great performances, and it's heartbreaking. And I hate at least half the people in it.
It's got to be successful then.
Mm-hmm.
I came within 5 minutes of switching this off. Because at the opening, I instantly disliked the lead character. He was way too Woody Allen for me.
Oh, Paul Rust.
Yeah.
And
my thumb was hovering so near that power button.
He was very Woody Allen-esque, wasn't he?
Yeah. But I said no, I'll give it a few minutes. And then it got very rude very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, I can live with this. And then it kind of got interesting because they kind of made these people hurt a little bit, and often in humiliating ways, which is always a good thing. I thought the acting was pretty good. I like the sets.
Yeah,
it's kind of just Nowhereville.
Yeah,
no, it's meant to be Los Angeles or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very generic.
Yeah.
And
the writing.
The writing is good.
Yeah.
The music, I noted as well. There's some good tunes in it, which you don't hear that often in TV.
Yeah.
You know, it's very common in movies that they go big on the score, but TV, not so much.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wouldn't say that I was mad about it, but it was a lot better by the end than what I had anticipated.
I was going to say to you, was the hook enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It just got it over the end line.
Okay, all right. Okay. Mark?
Yeah, I think Mike is fairly on the money with the pacing. It's a slow starter, and that particular character is annoying.
Yeah.
And I think I knew nothing about this when I put it on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that it might serve for some lively debate, giving our varying feelings on said emotion. But I thought the interplay of the characters is very good. I like where they left the first episode. There was a nice hook there to make you want to come back and watch it again. And I think Sean covered as well that there's probably behaviors in the slew of characters for everybody to identify with. So it pulls you in quite well in that way. You can project into one story or another, which is good. But it's important to remember that the actions of fictional characters in no way relate to things that your boyfriend may or may not want to do.
I don't think I have a lot more to add, actually. I think you've pretty much covered it. Like you said, slow start, then it gets interesting, and by the end, there's a hook, and sort of like, I could probably watch more of this. But that one character is very annoying and
cringy.
And he's going to continue along those lines, I'd imagine. Well, obviously, it's his character, so I don't know if he's going to put me off or not. We'll see.
I have a funny feeling that character is going to go through some major changes as the season goes on.
Oh, yeah.
That would be my hope.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, Jesus.
Yeah.
Are the episodes long? Are they like half hours or
They're
hour?
actually different lengths. Because it's Netflix, they write them to as long as the story is, right?
Oh,
so
really?
the first episode is on the long side. It's close to, if not 40 minutes. The second episode, I think, was like 30. But it changes. It just changes based on the episode that's in it. I have a bone to pick with you, Mike. You said it wasn't very specific. It was generic. So, one, I think it's filmed on location, or at least parts of it are, because I was watching it with a Californian who kept doing this. Oh, like, you're right there. Is it the show? He's like, no, they just don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. I just missed home. And I was like, shit. Conversation number 2. Anyway.
I used to live in a shitty apartment block just like that.
Well, here's the thing, right? There's a party.
Pool party.
In one of the episodes, right? So, okay. For the listeners, just to get across what I mean about things where you go, okay, I do that. I was in that situation. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Our male protagonist is invited over to a party. So one, he debates with his friends about whether or not he should go. Classic. He goes, he arrives at 6:59, the party's at 7. Shows up, there's no one there but the people who are hosting the party, who are arguing about how they're going to arrange the furniture, and also they have to get the baby down. So he's just there like, I can just wait in my car, like it's fine, like I don't mean and they're like, no, shut up, we'll get him a drink, Bill. And he's like, I gotta go hose down the furniture, and he's like, I'll do it. I'll help with the furniture. So then he goes out and he like starts arranging a thing, and it's really specific. The furniture, like I went, I'd love to go to a party in a house like that. And Rachel, the lady I was watching with, just went, okay, we can do that. That's fine. We'll do that in 3 weeks when we go to Los Angeles. I know people who lived in the house, basically. And then the party starts to fill up, and it's awkward. Like, does he know people? How is he gonna? Like, what's gonna happen? And then there's a shot where you just take in the party. And it's so specific. The drinks people drink are even specific. Like, there's PBR everywhere, even though these people are clearly like rich enough. They could be buying good beer.
What's PBR?
Like,
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Okay.
So it's a hipster beer, or at least it's considered a hipster beer because
it's
it's
the Dutch
cheap,
Gold.
but it's cool to
okay.
drink.
Right.
So it's just like little notes and touches like that are really cool. And there's a date episode that happens in the future where you're just like, oh God. Oh no, this is going down in flames. Like, there's the whole decision of, are you okay? Are you cold? Because there's a vent right above us. Do you want us to move? Because we can move. I can ask.
Yeah.
I can ask to move. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Cool. I really like it. And what my favorite thing is, in these kinds of shows, I pick sides. Like, I like to go, they were wrong in that decision. Yeah. You know, so in the first episode, when you see Paul Rust's character go through a breakup, in my head, I'm like, okay, who's wrong in this situation? Because they kind of move some shit around on you. Things that you think are true may not be. Things that you don't know about are revealed at interesting moments, you know? So far with Gillian Jacobs' character, half the time she says something, I am just like middle fingering the screen and going, fuck you, why are you the worst? They do an interesting twist with that as well, a couple episodes in. But I love it. Like, I can't wait to argue with more people about this show. I want everyone to go watch it so I can be like, no, that's not what love is. That's not what it is. Which is what the show is trying to tell us.
Sean, when I get around to watching this episode, we can fight about it if you'd like. I'll let you know when I've seen it.
Thank you. I would appreciate that very much. And hopefully my relationship will last throughout the season finale. So.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. So I'm going to give it a thriller because I will watch the next episode. The hook was enough. It nearly lost me, but the hook got me.
Yeah.
Well, it did as it was intended to do. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, it was pretty obvious the hook was going to happen.
Yeah.
They set that up a long way back.
Yeah.
It was still worked.
Yeah. I'm not overly excited about watching it, the next episode.
Yeah.
But, it just reached the right level, let's say. But you see, as I was saying earlier, I have a lot of TV in my plate to get
Yeah,
to.
I was going to say, so yet another TV show
the last
to
thing
head
I need is another TV show. So it may be a while before I get to it, but I know it's there. Yeah.
I'm taking the Wrigley position here on the fence.
Oh, really?
Because I did end up liking the show, but I don't know if I liked it enough to watch more. And I fear that may be a bad decision because I suspect that by episode 6 or 7 it's going to be a great show. But I don't know if I can invest that much time in it. So I'm going to...
You can. You'll be unemployed next week. So.
We're not firing him from Is It a Bicycle, by the way. He'll be here on the podcast in the coming weeks.
What's your retirement date, Mike?
Friday.
Unofficially Friday.
Yeah.
Officially next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I won't be actually doing anything productive next week.
Yeah.
1 week for retirement.
That's right. Yeah.
Thriller for me, Steve.
Thriller. Okay.
It's
Sean.
obviously a thriller for me.
Yeah.
And Mike, watch one more episode. One of the best sex scene jokes I've ever seen is in the second episode.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'll go one more.
Got him. Okay.
Out of
So you're giving a thriller now, is that it?
I suppose by default I have to, don't I? Fuck you, Sean. You're too smart for me.
Streak is on.
So I know that you've just finished reviewing the show, but I have to ask, there was something that you just said, Sean, there that made me draw parallels. Oh, it was when you were talking about picking a side in a couple and you're kind of saying fuck you every time this girl comes on. I loathed with every fiber in my body the movie 500 Days of Summer, and Zooey Deschanel's character maybe wanted to pluck out my own eyebrows and then put nails under my nails. Is there any similarity between that movie and this TV show?
That's interesting. So maybe one similarity that's there, but unfortunately it'll be a long time before I can confirm this. When I watched 500 Days of Summer the first time, I was like, oh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's the man. Why is Zooey Deschanel such a terrible person in this relationship?
Yeah.
I watched it again recently, about 4 or 5 years after it came out. And actually, they have a relationship where she is open and honest about what she wants and what she's willing to offer. And he doesn't listen to her.
Yeah.
So my viewpoint on it changed a lot. So I think in that sense, there's a chance that that'll happen with love as well.
Right.
Maybe even when they finish the season, I'll have a more complete view of these characters and their lives. And I won't hate certain people as much. Maybe I'll hate other people more. But
if they're drinking this PBT stuff, my concern is that there is an eroticism of being a hipster, and people who are too cool really annoy me, such as 500 Days of Summer. It was mostly everybody being too cool for school that really annoyed me.
No, they know in this show that the people that they're making a love story about are terrible.
Okay.
Like, there's some really cool moments. Like, even in the first episode, there's a moment where the dude is, getting in touch, with the party, and he's, getting drunk, and he's just letting it be loose, and you can see how terrible he is, even though he's having a great time. So you're kind of just like, all right, okay, well, I'm glad this is working out for you, but you're a D-bag. Come on.
All right.
So
Thanks for responding to that query. I was concerned that I was going to have issues watching this episode.
Yeah, it's not cool.
All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry to hold everyone up. We can move on.
Okay, so next one we looked at was Vinyl. Shona.
Yes. So Vinyl is the new show on HBO with, this is Mick Jagger and Scorsese directed this initial episode. And it is about Bobby Cannavale as Richie Finestra, who's a record executive in the 1970s. So this is the new show we're seeing on HBO. The pilot was pretty long, about an hour and a half, detailing some life at a record company in the 70s. There is a lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Things get shady. It's very Scorsese. Yeah.
A lot of big names in this.
Scorsese on TV.
Juno Temple, Olivia Wilde, Bridget Hort Sorensen, your favourite, Mike.
And what's his name?
Ray Romano.
Ray Romano.
Yeah. PJ Byrne, Paul Ben Victor.
Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Juno Temple.
I think, yeah.
Birgit Sorensen.
Actually, and Juno Temple's in as well.
Yeah.
And Olivia Wilde.
Olivia Wilde, yeah. And did you mention Bridget?
Oh, no.
All right. All right, what did you guys think? Let's move on.
Yeah, what did you think?
What did I think?
What did you think? Yeah.
Well, see, Scorsese wouldn't normally be... I mean, I like his films, but I wouldn't be obsessed with them. I think some people would. I know that he's highly regarded, obviously. It's not always my type of film. So I didn't know what to expect about the TV show, except for that it would be gritty, probably very much the dark side of rock and roll in the 70s. I'm sure that era was chosen for a reason. Now, having done some reading on it, Scorsese doesn't direct the whole series.
The last time Jagger was sober.
Oh.
Sorry, Nick. Sorry, uncalled for.
Do you know for a long time I thought Mick Jagger was his last name? Like it was Mick Jagger?
That's
like McDonald.
John McJagger.
McDonald, Mick Jagger. Yeah. Anyways. So I really like this. I think that it really comes across cinematically, I think, more so than almost a TV show. The opening scene does a great job of hooking you, watching the main character kind of be in a car. He's getting really fucked up and you want to know why, so we kind of do a flashback to the day before and what was leading up to him sitting in this car in a really shady part of town, drinking all the drink and doing all the drugs. I would criticize it saying it's maybe a bit too long. Because this isn't a movie, it's a TV show, so I think maybe it needs to pick up the pace, but it did a fairly decent job of kind of setting up the context and the atmosphere at this record company and the kind of shady dealings that go on in order to sign certain bands, as well as kind of going over how some people are maybe climbing the corporate ladder. So I found it interesting. I don't know that it blew my mind, but I think there's definitely a high quality in the show in terms of its cinematography. You could definitely see the director behind the lens had very strong vision. So Scorsese's imprint, I'd say, comes across that way. So I liked it. I don't know that I'd series record it. Or I might series record it, but then just kind of go back and watch it willy-nilly. You know, like it wouldn't be, I won't be counting down to it every week.
Or record it and then delete it because you've run out of space.
I might do that. Yeah, it depends. Depends how much other good television comes my way. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It seems very Scorsese.
You've kind of nailed my problem here.
Oh no, what's that?
Yeah, remember us just talking about how much TV you have to watch?
Yeah.
And then we watched this show and like, God damn it, I like this as well.
Oh no.
Yeah, I really like this.
Did you?
You're turning into a TV whore.
What did you really like about it?
That's your problem.
I really like that. I you know, like you said, cinematography, the direction, the writing, the acting, brilliant. The writing, the storyline is just brilliant, and it kept me focused on it. I didn't start messing with my phone or anything. Yeah. You said it's a little bit long. It actually flew for me. Because it just went from one thing to another, and it was really interesting. Juno Temple's brilliant, Olivia Wilde's brilliant, Bobby Cannavale brilliant. You know, they're all top notch, and the music is fantastic. I love shows. With music soundtrack. Like Inside Llewyn Davies and those kind of stuff. I just love where it's interspersed with good music, and that's good music. The majority of it, anyway.
Who is the guy who is? Oh my God. Okay, my problem of calling everybody that guy is going to come into play here because I don't know anyone's name.
There are a lot of that guys in the world.
Okay.
I just watch any television and film and I'm just like, hey, it's that guy. That's
which
all
that
I
guy?
do. The guy who is the artist that the main character kind of signs early on in his career.
Oh, Lester Grimes.
That's it.
Yeah, the blues guy.
Yes, because he makes him
Little
record
Richard
an
Little or
album
something.
under a kind of a pseudonym,
Yeah.
but with the promise that he can later record his own material. And when we hear him singing his own material, who is that? Because it was really good.
Oh.
Do you know?
Oh.
Sorry,
I've forgotten.
file under research I should have done
Good
before
old
the
what's his name?
podcast.
Yeah.
But the music was really good.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, it was excellent.
There's a scene in the beginning of the episode, where the exec goes into a gig when he kind of just needs a bit of salvation.
Yeah.
And you see him getting lost in the music, and I think the way that scene was filmed is incredible.
Yeah.
And the music was, very punk rock and very raw, and I think you can see maybe this is Mick Jagger's touch of kind of bringing a bit of rock and roll to the screen. That it's not just the music; it's filmed kind of sensually in that you see all the senses. There's kind of a visual aspect.
Yes.
You can see how the sound is affecting him. You can see kind of almost the grime, the sweat, the heat. You see there's color filters on the screen.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. You're really brought into that concert experience.
Yeah, and it reminded me of a movie that Mark really liked. Was it last year or year before with Mark Ruffalo? Where he's also a music exec. Begin Again, and he's in watching someone playing, and they're playing on their own, and he then starts to visualize a band around him, and so on. And that reminded me of it.
Really?
And you can identify with it if you've ever been to see a really good band. You know, it's the moment.
You have a moment. That's it.
Yeah, it's the moment. And I love that about it as well. And it has the strongest hook I'd say I've ever seen in a pilot.
Yeah.
It's
like it almost feels like a film like that.
Yeah.
That first episode, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that you get. You get a lot of backstory, and it goes. There's a plot is really well laid.
Yeah.
To build up to this hook.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So it opens, and then I knew it was going to happen, and I was really hoping it wouldn't. It opens, there's some really cool shit, and then it does that 5 days earlier.
Yeah.
Which means we know we're going to get to that point 5 days earlier.
Mm-hmm.
For people who haven't seen it, is that something that decreases tension in this episode or in the series?
Yeah, that's a
like,
good
does
point.
it affect the hook in any way?
No.
I think that's because there's so little tension in it that it's kind of irrelevant that you're coming up to 5 days. There's not a whole lot of, what's the word? Tension. For want of a better word. You know, there's not a lot of risk. I didn't see that there was a lot of potential for downfall for people. You know, they've set things up, but it's more about telling a version of the 70s that the producers had in mind, rather than telling a great story where, you know, there's characters coming together and somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, and you get involved in it. So I thought it lacked that kind of risk where it would matter that you knew what was going to happen 5 days later.
But I think this is one of those shows, though, that's more character-driven than plot-driven, so it's not necessarily that you're wondering... Like Sean, you're saying, because we start in the present, or we start in a certain scene and then we do a flashback and we kind of build back up to how the main character's gotten to where he is. So we know he's obviously the predicament he will end up in. And there's never any doubt of that, obviously, while you're watching how scenes unfolded before that. But I don't think the tension, if you're going to use that word, really lies in, the plot about, you know, will X or Y happen to this character. It's more about how they deal with it, how they got there, how they're going to deal with the consequences, and the interest, I think, comes from watching things happen to the character as plot in their life progresses. But it's not the plot itself, I think, that drives us as viewers to watch it. I don't know. What do you think?
No.
Maybe.
I would also have I'm sounding really negative again, haven't I, Steve?
No, really?
Yeah. It's not like me at all. But I'm glad you brought up Begin Again.
Yeah.
Because in Begin Again and in movies, what was that Johnny Cash movie? With Joaquin
Walk the
Phoenix?
Draw the
Walk
line?
the Line?
Oh, right. Draw the line. Just draw a line, everybody.
In movies like that, and I suppose I have to compare it to a movie because it's it's movie length.
It is, yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be a pilot. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a double episode, yeah.
Yeah. In those movies, they use the music sections to advance the story. Like you talked about your man, he sees her singing and he's building the band about it.
Yeah.
So you're already seeing in the plot, this is where the next stage is going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of musical scenes in this that is just, for lack of a better word, music porn.
Yeah.
If you like,
but that's kind of
if
what's
you like
interesting
70s
about
music,
it, I think.
you know,
like,
it's great. But
the plot device in Begin Again is very different. It uses music, but that music is used for a very different purpose in Begin Again than it is in vinyl, because in vinyl it is absolutely, I think music porn is a great word for it. Like it's about trying to capture the experience of being at an amazing gig when you're watching a show and you're just, like Steve says, it's a moment. You're just like, this is exactly the music I want to hear for how I'm feeling right now. And you know, I think we've all had those moments where you're just listening to something and you're like, oh, yes. And they capture that feeling.
Mark?
Well, I thought it was quite good. The music was certainly entertaining. You know, if it is music porn and you've got a music erection, then where's the harm? You know, I think
Scratch that itch.
by my reckoning, everyone's happy. I thought the characterization was really, really strong and immediate as well. It took almost no time to establish. What's the guy's name? Leather jacket guy?
Is he Vinny? No. He looks like he'd be a Vinny. Let's check.
The main guy.
Vanessa.
Richie.
Yeah.
Vanestra.
Richie. It took no time for him to establish really strong. Like you felt like you knew a lot about him within 5 minutes of the show, which was good. I thought it went on for far too long.
Oh, yeah. Double episode.
But I didn't make it to the end.
All right.
But what I saw, it looked really well written. And I was enjoying the music with my music erection.
so it was almost good enough to be something you would nearly watch the end of.
I think so too.
If I had in a land of infinite time,
Yeah.
much like Steve, I have far too many
Other commitments. Yeah.
TV shows to watch. But what I do think is worth mentioning is the light machine guns in Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
I'm going to pause you there for a minute. We'll come back to that.
The mistake I've been making is I've been running around these maps with a submachine gun because it lets me run faster. When really what I should have done was switch to a light machine gun and take my time. Let those assholes run at me with their little machine guns and their shotguns and see how well they can aim when they're being riddled by my light machine gun bullets.
Okay.
Yeah, so I switched to the
Sorry,
DRM.
I'm just having a flashback of Justin Bieber.
And I'm starting to kill up into the 20s per game. And it's really made quite a difference. And it actually happened to me, like, I don't know, was it last night or the night before?
Mark, I'm just going to go on Twitter. Let me know when you're done.
I won all three of them. And then as I was saying that, I said, you know, this would make a really good story for the podcast. And then I went, no, Mark, it's off topic. And I went, no, wait. Steve encouraged me to speak off topic. And then I went to myself, because I had these conversations with myself because I'm alone a lot of the time. Yeah. And I went, no, Steve is going to hate this. And then I went, but he said we could. And I went, you're right, Mark, let's do it.
I wonder if you listen to 70s music, would it improve your kill-death ratio?
Potentially, yeah. There's 70s music in the last Call of Duty. Wasn't there a chopper scene with Sympathy for the Devil?
That's right. And Battlefield Vietnam had some excellent music in it.
Mike.
Sorry, Steve.
Do you see what happened there, though, Steve?
I know, he's encouraging you.
Organic.
I see what's happening. Yeah. Sorry, I'm spitting
organic.
Everywhere. Now I'm spitting. Now you're making me spit. Anyway, I went ahead and watched episode 2.
Wouldn't it be great if you had a spit guard?
Yeah, I know. If only someone would get off their ass in order.
Although we're only reviewing episode 1.
I know,
Steve.
but I did go. I know.
I'm going to be the keep everyone on topic,
yes,
please. Here.
I am on topic.
That's right, Shona.
I'm telling you.
You fucking tell him how it is.
Rules, everybody.
Yes, I'm saying I went ahead and watched episode 2, and I'm telling you, it's worth sticking with. Yeah. Oh. It's brilliant. This is my favourite show this year.
My question, though,
my favourite new show.
Is it in any way cliche? Because that's the one, I think,
well,
fairly big criticism about it. There's no surprises in this. I mean, in general.
It's a story that's been told before.
Yeah.
And I've read a few autobiographies by guys who've been through this, the real deal, and it's not too far off.
Yeah.
But I love that era, and I love that music.
So it's about the storytelling again.
Yeah, and it's a great story, and like I say, it keeps me enthralled. Actually, I can't wait to see the next one.
Okay.
Steve.
Yeah.
Just a quick question for runtime pedants. How long is the second episode?
40 minutes.
Okay, so it'll probably continue with that, you think?
Oh, I'd say so, yeah. Wow. There's only 6 or 8.
10.
10, is there?
10 episodes.
Oh, really, yeah? Yeah, I knew it was short. Yeah. Here's to more Bobby Cannavale and Olivia Wilde. Yeah, there's a lot more about... actually, you know what, I'm not going to tell you what's an episode. Of course not,
you can make me...
Yeah. But anyway, obviously,
it's
it's absolute thriller for me. This is a great show. Nice find.
I'm gonna watch it again, but it's not gonna be very dedicated watching again. It'll be like Mike said. I'm gonna record it and I'll get around to watching it because I'm on maternity leave and I might have some time. So we'll see if my baby ever starts sleeping, then I might use her nap time to start watching this show. So I'm gonna give it a week. Thriller.
Or you could use this show to make her go to sleep.
I don't know if that would work.
Don't know what kind of comment that is in the quality of the show. So for me, I liked the music, but I think the main thing will be just to put the Varix sight on the BRM light machine gun to take out all of those nudes.
Very good.
This is probably the best show I'm never ever going to watch again.
What a great description!
Because
it's dilemma, Mike.
Poetic,
then a dilemma.
Mike.
Well, it's brilliantly shot. It's very well acted. It has 3 of my favorite pretty people on it. I mean, by rights, I should love it, but it's too slow for me. I'm not really interested in the story. Not that into the music. So it's a filler for me.
No!
Sorry, Steve.
You were so close to running the full sheet.
Oh, no, the streak is broken. Okay, yeah, go watch it. Ignore Mike. Okay, next up, we've got some previews in Coming to a Bicycle. Here you. So first up, we have Criminal.
Criminal.
The memories.
Yeah, it reminded me of a lot of things. This. Do you want to synopsize?
Yeah,
it?
well, I was just going to read IMDb's one because
I
wasn't quite sure what was going on. The memories and skills of a deceased CIA agent are implanted into an unpredictable and dangerous convict. This movie stars everyone. It's got
literally everybody.
Ryan Reynolds, Gail Gadot, Alice Eve, Kevin Costner, Gary Oldman, Tommy Lee Jones, Michael Pitt. It just goes on and on. Yeah. Looks great. Can't wait.
This looks cool. It's like Bourne Identity with Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
That's exactly it. I was about to talk about Bourne Identity actually a little bit, but it reminds me of another one. What was the one where, oh God, where people were projected into, was it the past? Oh, was it, you know, the one?
Was this like a Time Cop 2, the Berlin decision?
No, it wasn't that.
Back to the
although
Future.
You should always suggest that.
12 Monkeys.
It's where these soldiers who were kind of at death's door were reanimated somehow. Oh, I can't.
Soldier?
Not Universal Soldier.
Return
Okay, it
of
doesn't
the
matter.
Living
It
Dead.
comes from your own.
Universal Soldier 2.
But this I watched both of those films so many times when I was a kid, like it's not even funny. I wanted to be Universal Soldier for a while, but I hate the cold.
So, you love it?
I like the look of it. I think it could be interesting. The cast is stellar, so.
Yeah. It's about time Kevin Costner made a decent fucking movie again.
It looked so scary. There was a scene in the trailer of someone putting a drill into someone else's head, and I tapped out at that point. No way in hell I'm going to see this. You can put it on the list, I won't see it.
I thought that it looked like huge budget, a lot of great stunts and explosions, or at least, they have the capacity. Who knows how it'll all come out in the wash, but it looked like they were putting a lot into it, and obviously with the cast as well. If it either has fun with or can get over the fact that it's so dumb. It is the dumbest idea. Like a child would come up with this idea.
Yeah.
Like, what if you put a good guy's brain in like a bad guy's brain body. And so then you've got a guy who's a bad guy, but he's also the good guy. So he has to decide if he's going to be a good guy, and everyone wants to kill him.
Well, Steve, can I do it?
Go on.
Can I crush Sean's soul?
Go on.
Somebody sold that idea for a lot of money, Sean.
Yeah. Hey, if it works, I think it could be a great movie. But I'm just saying, it's really dumb. So hopefully it will either be fun enough that I won't care, or they'll find some way to just be like, you don't care. Look, watch what we're doing. It's fine.
The next one we looked at was it's about an adventure of an orphan boy, much like Jungle Book. He lives in a forest for the last 5 or 6 years, and his best mate's a dragon. It's called Pete's Dragon.
Source Code was the film I was trying to think of.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Do you like my timely responses tonight?
I'd completely wiped that one from my memory. I remember.
We'll put that into next week's episode. Will it be funnier then?
So this stars Bryce Dallas Howard, Robert Redford, Carl Urban, Wes Bentley, and a load of other people. So
And a dragon.
Yeah.
Is this a kids' movie?
Yeah.
It's by Disney. Yes.
Which possibly means the dragon is real, because watching the trailer,
Yeah.
I thought it was Life of Pi bullshit.
No, it looks like a real dragon.
Did you not see the dragon?
I did, but we saw the tiger in Life of Pi.
The tiger was real in Life of Pi.
The tiger was his mother in Life of Pi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are we excited?
Do you know, for a kids' movie, this actually could be okay.
That's exactly why this stayed on the list.
Yeah.
Can I get clarification on who the tiger was in Life of Pi, please?
It was
a
played
fucking
by
tiger.
Tiger was the chef.
Yeah, and it was played by Tony.
The chef.
Yeah.
The chef defended him, and that was the tiger.
The chef was the guy who was kind of eating other people on the lifeboat, and the kid had to try to steer clear of him. And then eventually he found that antagonism is what kept him alive, so it was also his savior.
Yeah, Tony
Thanks,
fucking
Sean.
Soprano.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is brilliant.
Oh.
Bring all the kids, nieces, nephews.
It's probably going to be... It seems like it's going to be a combination of The Jungle Book and a great Vin Diesel movie, Iron Giant.
And How to Train Your Dragon, 1 and 2.
I haven't seen any of these movies. I also realized I haven't seen Dumbo. It was on TV the other day, and my husband was getting all teary-eyed
can't watch
about
that.
it.
You'll
I've never
cry.
seen it.
No,
Yeah, I was told it is not new mom friendly.
No.
Yeah.
I can't watch any shit with like kids dying.
Yeah, don't watch Bambi either.
Bambi.
Nothing by Disney, actually.
Yeah.
Nothing by Disney, because parents always die in Disney movies.
Or Watership Down. Stay the fuck away from Watership Down.
God damn.
Watership Down is an interesting divisive
It's a
cartoon,
bloodfest. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to watch Watership Down again. So I have a niece who was like 6 at the time, I think Mia was.
Oh man, you didn't put her through it, did you?
No, I didn't actually. So I went online and said, what age should you watch Watership Down with your kid at? And they said, well, once you're over 28, you should be fine. But the kid's age is what I had to Google. So I did that again. And they said that it was down to the parents' decision, really, knowing your child and what they can handle and all the rest of it. So at that point, I realized I was not this child's parent, and I just put on The Incredibles for the 20th time.
Yeah. Yeah. Good move.
Yeah. But I have it on my machine here, and I wouldn't mind watching it again. But there's like a really weird dream sequence in it. And I hate dream sequences.
Do you not read all my tweets then with interest about what I dreamt about last night?
I don't mind hearing about your dreams. but
one day I dreamed that the world would be... Sorry.
The only thing worse than an underwater level in video games is a dream level. And like the Max Payne games do a lot of dream levels. And like they're basically good games. They handle bullet time really well. The gunfire feels really visceral. But just walking around a dream level where you don't even shoot, I don't see the point.
Next one we looked at was Kill Your Friends. And this is about an A&R man working at the height of the Britpop music craze goes to extremes in order to find his next hit. So, in other words, he kills his friends, I guess.
It reminded me of Trainspotting at the start, and then it reminded me of that one with the garden where they kill people.
Garden of Death.
Kill Garden?
Fight Garden.
What else could it be called?
Is it the Maze? Maze
But
Runner.
they have dinner with
Plant
people. The Last
Die.
Supper.
Oh, The Last Supper.
The British film.
Oh.
Is it The Last Supper? Maybe it's not.
That's an old story, isn't it?
Hate Burger.
Where they invite these people to dinner and then decide whether they're worthy of being left alive or not, and then they poison them and they bury them, and it makes the tomatoes bloom really well out the back.
Hostel 17.
No, it's Dinner of the Dead. Death Dinner. Death Dinner 2. So this stars Ed Skrein. Ed Skrein. Nicholas Hoult. James Corden. Roseanne Arquette. Craig Roberts.
Was that Roseanne Arquette?
Roseanne Arquette's in it, yeah.
Huh.
Not Patricia Arquette.
Oh, okay.
Roseanne Arquette.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this looks alright. Looks alright. I'd watch this.
I looked at this and I thought, this looks awful like a British American Psycho.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the trailer it says, the new American Psycho.
Yeah. Well spotted, Mike. Yeah.
I don't know, Steve. Yeah.
See, it's Nicholas that has me, sort of interested in watching this because he's
he
pretty
had
solid.
you at Hell Holt.
Yeah, he's pretty solid, you know. So
And
To
his
remind anyone
his
else
blue
of Train
eyes.
Spotting.
that wasn't his eyes that did it.
It
for
did
me.
a little bit at the start, yeah.
The way it's shot. So, The Last Supper, 1995, a group of idealistic but frustrated liberals succumb to the temptation of murdering right-wing pundits for their political beliefs. I was right, it's called The Last Supper.
All right.
Good on you, Mark.
Which is interesting, as I sing High Harmony in The Last Supper.
They really should have called it Dinner of Death, I think.
Yeah.
We could probably come up with many more. If you have a better title for The Last Supper than Dinner of Death, then drop us an email at podcast@isitabicycle.com.
Please do.
Or tweet us at isitabicycle.
So everyone sounds absolutely fired up to watch this.
No.
No,
and I would skip this one. Of the three, I would probably watch Boy Dragon Raising and Everybody's in It, like Source Code.
Criminal. Yeah.
Criminal, yes.
Criminal would be my pick of the three to watch. The other two I could never see and probably live quite a happy and fulfilling, meaningful life.
If they could put a dragon in Criminal, that'd be cool.
And then
Dragons
kills all his
Then
mates.
you've got everything.
Yeah.
A dragon that kills all his mates and is a criminal.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, we've got to pitch that one.
For sure.
Can you put it into 10 words or less?
Oh.
Because you need a
Sean
10 words
could
or
have
less.
bet.
Sean could have bet, yeah.
But to get it produced, we just have to make it dumber.
Oh.
It's an evil dragon is put in the mind of a young boy who also happens to be a dragon rider, but he steals to provide food for his family. So on a journey from poverty, he realizes that his ancestors are the kings of the land, but also it's the year 2121 and all the bad guys are Terminators or half helicopter, half Griffin people.
And his family are all bulimic.
Yeah.
It's a winner.
Did you see that headline or story on Waterford Whispers about was it robotic cyborgs coming back to present day from the future to try and get rid of Donald Trump? And the security teams keep nabbing them and having to melt them down. And they're like, "No, you've got to get rid of them to save the world in the future." It's very funny. It's very funny.
Did you hear that thing about one of Hillary Clinton's well-heeled supporters bought the Onion to shut it down?
No way.
Oh.
You serious? Couldn't take a joke?
Some of them were a bit too close to home.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I guess I'm not going to be on the podcast next week. If you're on Letterkenny, you can come to On Green On, the theatre in Letterkenny, to see Jesus Christ Superstar from the Letterkenny Musical Society. And as I won't be on the podcast next week, I'd like to say to all our fans that I'll miss not knowing things with you.
Thanks, Mark.
I believe we'll be missing someone else next week too.
Yeah, I also won't be here, but I don't expect any tears to be shed over that.
Well, you won't be paid anyway. That's for sure. You'll be docked.
Sorry, it's in my contract.
Docked. So yeah. So it'll be 3 or maybe more.
How did she get sick pay?
We'll talk about contracts later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it for this week. So from Mike, Mark, Steve, Sean, and Jonah, stay classy.